Hey, I'm Hunt, and this is Hunt on LSU, your channel for LSU Fighting Tiger football talk. Enjoy the video. We want you to leave a comment below, hit that like button, and subscribe right below the video. Enjoy. I have to start only one way here. I have to take a shovel and hammer home some crow, like lots of it, like an extra heaping size of crow. Because you have heard me for 3 weeks completely and utterly dismiss every report about Bryce Underwood taking a pile of cash from Michigan. I said it once, I said it twice, I said it 3 times. I said I didn't believe any of it. And 70% of that was blind homerism unintentionally, and 30% of that was just based on what we had heard the entire time and what we had seen from the recruit in his camp. Bryce Underwood and his camp said all the right things. They did all the right things on the surface. They came to Baton Rouge. They never visited anywhere else. He was here on an official visit. He was here on unofficial visits. He came and camped here. His Twitter and Instagram suggested he was all LSU. His family said, we're not making a financial decision here. We're making a fit and development decision here. The NFL will take care of things down the road financially. I'm taking all that at face value. I don't know Bryce Underwood. I don't know his parents. I don't know his lawyer. I don't know his agent. I just read what is reported. And I also read when Pete Nako says, hey, $10 million from Michigan. And then you don't really see any movement. And I thought, well, this is pretty simple. He's made his decision. And I'm certain that LSU is going to offer some money as well. I said what I thought. And I was dead flat wrong and stupid. Because when that amount of money is involved, it always matters. This is a new world for us here as college football fans, for me as someone who covers college football. And money is not new in college football, but being able to publicly offer this much cash is new. And I may be wrong, but I don't think players were agreeing to $12 million deals 15 years ago. I could be wrong. Again, I wasn't there for that either. But I think that this was, the under-the-table money was probably less substantial because once you get to $12 million, that seems fairly easy to track. So this is a new world, and I whiffed. That's my bad. I whiffed. But now we have to talk about what the ramifications are of this decision that Bryce Underwood has made. This is very bad for LSU. It is. It is bad to lose the only quarterback in your class. It is bad to lose a 5-star quarterback. It is bad to lose the number 1 quarterback in the country a couple of weeks before signing day. That is bad. We don't know what Bryce Underwood's going to be. He might be Trevor Lawrence, star college quarterback, national champion, first pick in the draft. He might be Tim Tebow, one of the greatest players in the history of college football, who was a 5-star quarterback. He might be Bryce Young, who's the best quarterback in the history of Alabama and went first in the draft. He might be. The odds are that he's very good. He could be DJ Uiagalelei. He was a second-ranked player in the nation, 5-star recruit. He's played at 3 different colleges, isn't good at any of them. He might be Shea Patterson, was a top 5 player in the country. Played at 2 schools, mediocre quarterback. Everybody went nuts about Walker Howard coming to LSU and getting his commitment, and that didn't work out here or at Ole Miss. We don't know. He could be great. He could not be great. But the fact of the matter is you'd rather have him than not because his talent level is immense. Skill set's unbelievable. And your quarterback situation beyond Garrett Nussmeier and Bryce Underwood as of 24 hours ago is real iffy, to say the least. So this loss is very, very bad. But LSU can fix that part of it. Because every single year, there is Dylan Gabriel and Cam Ward. There's Jackson Dart. There's Quinn Ewers. There's Jaden Daniels. Every year, big-time quarterbacks hit the market. LSU will find another quarterback. He might be a lot better than Bryce Underwood. He might be a little better than Bryce Underwood. He might be about the same. He might not even be close. But LSU will find another quarterback. The future of LSU football did not rest solely on the shoulders of Bryce Underwood. I promise you. They will field a team next year. They will field a team the year beyond that. And LSU will have a good quarterback in the near future. But this hurts, and it hurts worse because of the last 3 football games LSU has played. It is piling on. And I'll tell you, a month ago, people weren't solely focused on Bryce Underwood. People were thinking, we've got the best quarterback in the SEC. We beat Ole Miss. We beat South Carolina on the road. We've got a real chance to go to A&M. Now it's halftime. We got a real chance to do something great this year. That's what everyone was thinking about. And that has shifted over the last 3 weeks. And this hurts worse because of that. He became the White Knight because of the failures on the field the last 3 football games. And so coping with that is very difficult for an LSU fan. I get that. But LSU will get another quarterback, just like everybody else is fielding transfer quarterbacks all the time. Now, what does it mean big picture for LSU recruiting? People say, LSU is done. They will never recruit at an elite level again. They don't have pockets as deep as Michigan and Texas A&M. The glory days are over. People will say that. I can't prove them wrong sitting here today. I can't. Here's my opinion. LSU still has some real advantages on a lot of schools in college football. This state bleeds purple and gold. That stadium is iconic and legendary. The recent history and the championships and the Heisman trophies that have been won here mean something. Saturday night in Death Valley is renowned across the nation. And there are a lot of good players that grow up in this state. And LSU is still going to get a lot of those kids. If Bryce Underwood had never committed to LSU and as a junior in high school had committed to Michigan and never visited LSU, and you had never heard of him because you don't pay attention to anybody that Michigan signs, you would look at this signing class and go, this is pretty good. They did a good job in the state. They got the number 1 running back in the nation. They've got commitments from 2 5-star cornerbacks to retool that secondary. They've got edge rushers. They've got offensive linemen. Maybe Carius Kern becomes a 5-star. You would look at this class if you had never heard of Bryce Underwood and say, this is pretty good. And I think LSU will recruit well moving forward in this era. Where LSU is going to have massive issues is going to Michigan for the number 1 player in the nation. Is going to California for the number 1 player in the nation. That's a water that LSU is not going to be able to swim in. Because as I wrote in my column for LouisianaSports.net yesterday, Michigan's endowment is $19 billion. LSU's is $1 billion. Michigan leaned on the owner and founder of Oracle. Hundreds of billions of dollars. Successful business people in Baton Rouge don't have that. Dave Portnoy doesn't have that. He is a minnow compared to some of the top in that Michigan machine. Now, a lot of those people have other interests and have families and lineages, and Dave Portnoy just has a house in Florida and likes to bet on horses and has no problem dishing $10 million out to a bet or a quarterback. But that's not really the issue. LSU doesn't have enough whales and doesn't have enough fish to compete with that nationally. Now, they got into those waters with Bryce Underwood, and they almost got out alive, but they didn't. LSU is going to have trouble with that. And I think that hurts, but I don't think it's a death blow to the program. You can talk about this era of Brian Kelly, and we'll have that discussion for years. It'll continue. But LSU doesn't have pockets that deep. They still have pockets that can potentially land DJ Pickett, can go in there, flip a 5-star Texas commit at corner, lock down the state, and that's very, very important. But you ran up against the perfect storm here. A program that saw that it could get to the top of the mountain in Michigan. They did it last year. They know that's now possible. You could have doubted that 3 years ago when Harbaugh was kind of foundering and they hadn't won anything since 98, and you could have doubted it at Michigan. Well, now they know they can get to the top. And they know how quickly you can fall off if you don't spend money. And they're terrible this year. They can't complete a pass. They can't beat anybody. They're awful. Ohio State is going to beat them by 40. And that woke them up. And so you've now got the number one player in the nation who lives very far away from you, and now the home team is motivated and rich and did not take no for an answer. That is a perfect storm, and LSU was never going to weather that. Back to the initial point of this segment, my fault for not recognizing that. I'm an idiot. But I believe this is a bad, bad, bad thing for LSU to lose a talent like Bryce Underwood. I don't think it's a death blow to the program. I don't think it's an indication that LSU will never compete again. I think it hurts them in the very short term, but I think it's correctable because now you've got funds that were earmarked for that kid for 3 years that you can go to the transfer portal and find somebody else. And that's what they have to do. It would be nice for LSU if they could beat Vanderbilt and a terrible Oklahoma team next week and try to lift the spirits of that football program for 9 days. That would be nice. And then you have to find a way to keep the rest of these guys in this class. It's a bad day for LSU. It's an awful month for LSU. It is not going to send LSU into a 20-year death spiral. It just feels that way today. We'll see where they go. Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.